What's going on, gamers? Today we're going to be jumping into a little bit more Marvel Midnight Suns. What we're going to be covering is all of the best modded cards that you can be getting for your hunter. So if you want to be extremely powerful, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be having a look at the main person you'll be playing, and that's going to be the Hunter. The Hunter is bar none the most powerful character in the game, as he has the most diverse cards and can do a lot with them. Now, as always, if this helps you out, a like would be super appreciated, and if you'd like to become a member of the channel for all the latest gaming content, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. But for now, we'll be going over the Hunter, all of his best cards, and what I believe you should probably mod them to. So jumping straight into his attack cards, and the Hunter has some of the most powerful attack cards in the game, some of which just are so good to use. One of my favourite ones has to be Last Sight. This one on KO gains concealed straight away, allowing you to dip straight out of the fight and not have to worry too much. I like to mod this whenever I can with Quick, as then it pretty much has all of the bases covered and it's not going to cost you a card play, as well as chucking you straight in that concealed. Another card, if you're after higher damage, but it's a little bit riskier, definitely works in a lot of playstyles though, has to be Wild Strike. This does give you vulnerable, so you will get hit massively hard, so you do have to be careful, but if you put it to Quick, it's not going to cost you a card play, and as long as you've got other cards in your deck that can conceal you or give you a bit of viability, then this is one of the standard hardest hitting cards in the game. Jumping over to the light side of things, and one of the cards that I really enjoyed playing with had to be this one right here, and that's Holy Spark. Damage an enemy or cure. This one comes with Quick, which makes it amazing straight off the bat, and I found that modding it on KO to draw a card worked really well. If not, probably putting it to conceal would also be another amazing option. Now, another card that hits tremendously hard has to be this card right here, and that's Morning Star. Morning Star works better the more you use it, as it's going to up its damage. At top end, this can do some extremely big hits. As you can see here, currently mine does 600 maximum damage. The more times you play this, the better, as the damage is going to mount up. I like to mod this with if target has full health, plus a certain amount of plus 100% extra offense damage, as then it's an absolute nuking machine. If you didn't want that, then again, Quick works perfect. Jumping over to the skills, and the Hunter has probably the best skills in the game. Some of his cards can be really game changing, and they're a lot of fun to see. One that will either be one you love or absolutely hate, and that's going to be Mindbender. This I found is absolutely amazing for tackling any of those objectives, so anytime that someone is protected, or anytime there's a Nest Mother, or even for those summoning pits, this card is ideal. If you mod it to free, then the enemy is going to usually turn around, hit the person they're supposed to be protecting, they're going to lose their protection, and you can usually complete the objective first turn. In my opinion, definitely works amazing, especially late game, because the enemies start to hit harder and apply a lot of status effects. Another skill for the Hunter that you definitely won't want to miss out on is going to be Wrath. I've used this pretty much every single time I've used the Hunter, because it's just that strong. This is going to give you all of the Hunter cards in your hand critical, and all of the cards are going to be critical when drawn for 2 turns. This allows you to get some massive damage on your cards, as well as if you can modify it to get 2 free redraws, and you can get some nice cards into your hand if your hand's not the best at the start. Another skill that I found works alongside this absolutely perfectly is going to be Holy Gift. The next hero card played is not going to be discarded. It does suffer from exhaust, but we're going to modify it to draw 2 extra cards as well, and when you plan things out with this, it can absolutely turn the tide of battles. Jumping over to another one, and we have Inspire. Inspire changes the cost of a random heroic card in your hand to 0. This card's free again. As you can see, there's a lot of free cards going on here, and I've also set it to draw the last attack played. If you've got a lot of quick or a lot of free cards, this can be absolutely amazing, and changing the cost of a random heroic is also very good. Try to plan ahead a bit, make sure the heroic's something you want, with very high damage, and these free cards can be ridiculously overpowered. As you can see here, where I'm using 2 ultimates in a row. Another one that I definitely can't leave off the list has to be Call to Arms. If you're struggling for heroism, then this card pretty much sorts that out straight away, and it's going to double all of your heroism gains for 1 turn. Again, it's free. I've modified it to give 2 heroism straight off the bat, so it's going to give us 4 straight away, and if you've got anyone on your team that's already got 4 heroism, like this challenging raw card, it's going to give you 8. 2 will be 4, 3 will be 6, etc. But ultimately you'll top up on heroism very easy once you're using this card. Over to the Hunter's Heroics, and there's a couple that I think stand out. The first one is going to be Holy Burst. This card is going to damage each enemy and restore a large chunk of health to every one of your teammates in an area. I found that this did a nice bit of damage, but not quite enough to get the takedowns, so what we've done is we've modded it to vulnerable, meaning on your next turn you're probably going to be able to wipe everything out very easy. If you didn't want that, then Marked would also be another amazing option. Another heroic that at first glance I thought was pretty bad is now one that I love to have in my deck whenever I can, and that's going to be All Out. You're going to discard all of your Hunter cards, but you're also going to draw 2 cards. On KO, I've modified this to draw another 2 cards. This, for 1 heroism, is absolutely amazing. It does a nice bit of damage, it allows us to get 2 extra cards into our deck, and also draws 2 more on top of that. Because of how many free cards we've got going on, you can usually use up the ones you want well before you need to use this, in order to not lose out on any of the vital cards. Jumping over to what I like to call his kind of ultimates, these are going to be the cards you obtain through your challenges or through going light or dark side path. Bladestorm is absolutely amazing from start to finish in this game. It's going to give you a lot of knockback, it's going to hit a lot of enemies, and although it doesn't do the highest amount of damage, usually even at the highest tiers you're still going to get some KOs because they hit just an abundance of obstacles or each other. The fact that it draws a card on KO is absolutely amazing, and we've modified this with an increased area effect just to capture more enemies in it. Last but definitely not least, we have to chuck Annihilation in somewhere. It does so much damage, is such a lot of fun to use, and in the right builds you can quite easily make it 0 cost and redraw it, as you've probably seen before. Hitting upwards of 2,500 damage in a big old air effect, even on Ultimate 3 you can take out everything in the game in just 1 hit, making it one of the most powerful moves in the game. Right, just before I go, a few things you'll also want to look at. For your passives and for your suit upgrades, Ancestor's Guidance is absolutely amazing, as it means your abilities no longer exhaust. Obsidian Collar is in my opinion the best collar in the game. It allows you to do double damage on your attack cards, and as you've seen we already have some massive hitting cards, so it's well worth having. If I remember correctly, you'll have to go 50 dark side in order to get this one. And lastly, Master of the Hunt. This is going to be another suit upgrade that you may want to look into, reduces the collar cost of everything by 1, and you're immune to all negative status effects. One of the most powerful things in the game, well worth looking at, and if you complete the game it may be something you want to chuck on your build. Right, you gamers, hopefully that's helped a few of you out. For All Things Gaming, I'll see you on the next day.